there's going to be a little bit of background noise, but this is a day in our life. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how our day in a life this semester is a little bit different than it was last semester and what I learned in between. But right now it's 7:45 in the morning. We are doing breakfast. This is pretty typical for what happens. We try to sleep till 7:30. Oftentimes the munchkins are up earlier, sometimes they're up before dawn, and we just roll with that. But we try to sleep till 7:30, and then we come on down and we get breakfast going. We don't get dressed first. We just come down, get breakfast going, eat, and then we get about our days. Set a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
So we have finished up breakfast and now we are in the basement and I am straightening my hair. I'm finishing that up. So I usually bring around this little portable mirror whenever I need to do that, and then I can kind of go to which area of the house that the kids are going to be playing in during that time. So right now they are playing with their trains and Legos, which are in the basement. So that is where we are doing this. Sometimes if it's a day where I am taking a shower in the morning versus the night before, then I will plop them in front of a show on Minnow, which I love because I can trust that source, and I bring the remote with me and I'm just right inside the door in my bathroom taking a shower and getting ready while they are watching a quick show on Minnow. So that's what I do on days when I shower in the morning. But we generally like to get a lot of their wiggles out, and this became something that I noticed was an absolute necessity when my second boy came along. He loves getting outside and really, really needs to get out and about every single day, even if it's just out in the backyard. So our homeschool is really based around what our kids need, and we try to roll with that. So the mornings are not a whole lot of schooling. We do a little bit of math, a little bit of read aloud. Sometimes we're doing a read aloud during breakfast. Or sometimes we do an audiobook during breakfast, and that also helps them to stay in their chairs and focus on eating before we can get those wiggles out a little bit more. So we are going to be finishing this up and then going to go burn some energy. We are out the door. It was 13 degrees when we left, and even though it's nice and bright and sunny, it is very cold today. So we are going to do our grocery pickup, and then we are headed back home. Stop one. Second stop, Sam's Club. Hi, I'd like a bag of your Old Town coffee, coarse ground for a French press, please.
Sounds good.
So we got home from our grocery pickup and all of our errands and unloaded all the groceries right by about 11 o'clock, which is typically when we have lunch, because my munchkins are usually hungry even before then. So we are going to have lunch right now. If Daddy is working from home, in our world, that means we make a 5th serving and I bring that into him in the office. And if not, then we go ahead and just have lunch, the 4 of us. And a lot of times we just do it around the island because they kind of start eating as I'm still getting everything prepared for others of them or for myself. So that's kind of how we do lunch around here. And then we turn into kind of transitioning into quiet time and nap time. We go have our Bible time upstairs and all of that. But for now, it's eating and a little work on our oldest son's Kindle Fire. So he is able to pick out some audiobooks for his brothers and play them for him while I'm prepping lunch. And that has been a great help, and they really enjoy it too. So it is about 1:30 and we have done some reading and some math and some Bible. And right now what I do is after our Bible time, We have transitioned upstairs. We did our Bible time in the loft together, and that consisted of, we usually sing the Books of the Bible song. That's what we've been working on lately. I plan to have a song kind of each time we have Bible time at these ages, which I think is really fun, and it's helping them learn things along with that. And we will usually do our verse of the week, and right now that's following along with our unit study, so that is actually on our window downstairs, and then also a short devotional and prayer together. So that's what our Bible time consists of during the day, and then we also circle back and do a Bible story at night before they go to bed. But after Bible time, what I do is I then take my littlest, my 2.5-year-old, and he goes down for a nap. And while I'm putting him down for a nap, I put on an educational video for my 2 older sons. And so right now they're listening to watching a beginner Spanish nursery rhyme video from the library. Sometimes we do Leapfrog, which is really fun. Sometimes we'll do something from Minnow, because a lot of those have some really great Bible stories or Bible verses and lessons in them. And we've also done some other fun things on Minnow. There's a fun science video and things like that. So they will watch one of those videos while I put my littlest down for a nap. And then one of my secrets is that's also my time. I still rock him down a little bit. I like to hold him before I put him down. Okay, just 1 second.
And the phone means sun.
Oh, it means sun. Good job. So we're
fall
learning
sun.
Spanish. So as I'm rocking the little one down, I usually have my phone with me, and I have some Bible time of my own. Then it's not a lot of time, but I try to really, at these ages, it is kind of survival sometimes. So I try to get it when I can. So I'll pull out my Bible app and read my Bible in a year, or another devotional. And then sometimes, actually, if something has been pressing with work and I don't get to have my Bible time at that moment, I have been known, while I've been rocking a baby, to draft a contract to buy or sell real estate on my phone as I'm rocking a child down. So anyhow, that's kind of some of the things that I do during that time. I really try to maximize every minute, and then we'll return after I put him down and we move on to the next thing. Okay, so this is my 1 30-minute window during each day when all 3 kids should, in theory, be kind of self-sufficient, taken care of. We've got the littlest one napping, and then the 2 big boys are going into quiet time together. This used to not be the case. Last semester, it was my middle child, my 4-year-old, going into quiet time, and then I took that opportunity to do some one-on-one reading time in our 100 easy lessons from Siegfried Engelmann. But we finished that book really quickly, and he is fully capable of reading on his own now. So, and my 4-year-old is more interested now in our table time and our learning time. And so what we're doing is we are having some mama time during that quiet time. And so this is an opportunity for me to come down to my office, to my desk, and get some things done on the computer that I need to. The big computer, not the little one, that potentially I could use throughout the day if I need to jump on there really quickly. Today was an interesting little thing. It's kind of interesting when Daddy is at home. We have a job where sometimes he can work from home. And although in my mind, it's kind of ingrained what our schedule and our routine looks like each day, that's not the case for him because he's not around to observe it a lot. And even when he is, he's not really paying much attention to it. So today I came down for the 30-minute window, which to me is very predictable. Unfortunately, is not predictable for him. And I found that about 30 seconds before I arrived in the office, he had chose to update my computer and had also taken my phone to update my phone, which is very sweet that he's wanting to update my software. But it happened to be during that one little 30-minute window I get each day to be productive without the kids needing something from me. So I am kind of at a standstill with those things. So I'm going to find some other ways to be productive during this time today. But that is what I would normally do during our 30-minute quiet time. So as soon as this wraps up, and I usually do use the timer on my phone, and I've got 12 minutes left actually in their quiet time. I try to use the timer because I know that when I get working on things, I can oftentimes lose track of time, and I don't want to unfairly leave them up there, even if they're doing okay. Just the trust that they have, knowing that they have just the 30 minutes and then I'll be back to get them is always a lot more helpful. So after that time wraps up, then I will take the 2 older boys and we will go over to the dining room table, which is where we do most of our schooling that, requires paper and crafts and anything like that, writing, any of that. So we're going to go over to the dining room table and we will check back with you then. Usually around this time, it's not yet 5 o'clock, but usually around 4:30, we will be wrapped up with most of the things that I'm going to lead them with for their schooling, and then they will either go have free time while I prepare dinner, or I will let them do a lesson or game on reading eggs so that they can do something still educational but fun for themselves that will occupy them while I focus on the kitchen area. So today we are doing leftovers, which is super easy for me because when I need it and it's been a rough day, I stick with my leftovers because I usually have leftovers of something that I can go to when needed. Also, in terms of meal planning and that sort of thing, what I like to do is I have this little recipe stand, this little cookbook stand over here, and it has a glass cover over it. It was a wedding gift from, I think, Williams-Sonoma or something like that a long time ago. And I write on it with a window marker or a wet erase marker after I make my grocery order for the week or however long it's going to last me. I will write all my dinners down so that I don't have to pick them in a certain order, and I don't have to go look in the fridge to try to remember if I'm really chaotic and unable to focus on what in the world was I planning to make. So I've got all the dinners just kind of written out, and then whatever the day seems to dictate, however much margin I have and how much cooking I want to do, or what's going to go bad the soonest in the fridge. That will help me determine when I look at this list what we're going to have for dinner that night, and then I usually pick on it from there. There are some things that are kind of recurring non-cooking nights for us each week, which are really nice, and I try to line those up if I can with activities that make it harder for me to cook meals. So for instance, Tuesdays are Taco Tuesdays, and there's a place in town where it's like $5 tacos or something like that, and we can usually share a meal or have a couple people share a meal, so it's a really inexpensive dinner if you actually price out what you're spending on meals these days, especially if you buy organic like we try to. So that is what we do for meal planning. And then after we finish up with dinner, we usually have just free play time. It's just time to be together as a family before we start winding down. And then we head upstairs, usually around 7 o'clock, and start getting jammies on and teeth brushed and getting ready for bed. And then we go into the bedroom. All of our boys share a room. They love to be together and they love it that way. And we all 5 get together in their room and we read a Bible story at night and pray together and put everyone to bed. And after that, it's Mama and Daddy's time to get work done or be together, whatever we have going for the day. So it is the end of our day. The end of everyone's day now, not just the kids. They went down at about 7:30 or 8, and it is now about 9:30. So once we put them to bed, I came downstairs and started working on some writing printables for my kiddos and a little bit of work over here for my job, and crossed off a few things off of my list, which is always great. And I even worked a little bit on my Shutterfly scrapbook and things like that. So I got to get super productive in the last, I guess really probably only an hour and a half or so that I've been down here. They are now officially asleep as well, which
I don't know if this happens in your house, but in our house, when you put kids to bed, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're asleep. So now they're all asleep as well. And I've gotten my stuff done, so now I am relaxed and I feel like I can turn in for the night. And that is basically our entire day in the life over here. So I hope that that helps you, gives you some ideas, or maybe just encourages you in what you're going through, that I'm right there alongside you. But hopefully it's been helpful to you, and I will keep posting more day in the lives as we kind of go and grow with our kids. For those of you who have stuck through with me to the end of this video, thanks for watching, and I hope you subscribe, like, all of that sort of thing, and tell me what you are interested in hearing about in our homeschool journey, because I'd love to share that with you. Any tips or tricks that I can share with you that will help you, let me know in the comments below.